once again, thank you for your time, Dr. Lucille O'Neal, to speak about your very fabulous book. Now, my notes here say that you're revisiting, you're re-releasing this book, While I Have Your Attention. Obviously, you open up in this book, you open up about your many challenges and triumphs throughout your life. What inspired you to revisit your memoir and share an updated version of it now?
I've been asked that question a lot in the past couple of weeks. What inspired me? And I want to just say thank you so that I can just let whoever's listening and whoever's seeing this recording that I'm just happy to be able to share my truth. A lot of times we have other people talk about us, and when the opportunity comes so that we can share our own truth, that's good for me. I love to do that. But I got inspired to bring this second refresh from HarperCollins. They extended an invitation for me to do a refresh. My first memoir was written in 2010, and it was called Walk Like You Have Somewhere to Go. So they felt that that message and that memoir was good enough to do the refresh, but I'm inspired so much by my children. I have 16 grandchildren. I have 3 great grandchildren. I have a host of friends and relatives, and I'm inspired by the people that I meet. I love to be able to encourage them, and I get so much encouragement coming back to me. And so I'm inspired by what's going on in my life right now. I'm so happy. I'm in a very happy place, and I thank God for that.
In your memoir, you mentioned that you explore, you unpack that you have navigated life as a mother while pursuing your dreams, including earning your degree and becoming a public speaker in your 40s. So what advice do you have for women who feel like it's too late to pursue their passion?
You see the title, It's Never Too Late for a New Beginning. What gave me the opportunity to be a motivational speaker is when the first memoir was written. It gave me a platform after that. I was able to be a part of a speakers bureau, and I still am. It's been a lot of years, but I told God when I was 12 years old, I said, I want to be a motivational speaker. If you're going to motivate someone, first of all, you got to have something to speak about. So out of my life experiences, I always had a story to tell. But the encouragement came when I told people what God did for me, he can do for you. And if you have a dream inside of you, don't ever, ever let it go. It took me 30 years to get to college. I wanted to go to college, but life happened. Shaquille was born when I was 17, come fresh out of high school. So it took me a few more years to get to college. I had other children. I got married. We were in the Army for 20 years, but when the opportunity came and my son and my daughters, they said, Mommy, you can go back to school, but this is the best thing. My son said, as long as you keep your grades up, I got you. I'll pay your tuition. That blessed me right there. It really did. So while we encourage our children to get an education and study and improve themselves, I'm happy I was able to do that because for me, I want to be a living example, not talk, but be able to just show and just be able to do and just be an example for my family and everybody else.
Very good. Again, another perfect lead into my next question. In your book, you reflect on raising your children, right, including obviously your son Shaquille, who has publicly praised you and your influence in his life. So what parenting principles were most important to you while you were raising your children, and how did you instill them, your parenting principles, in your kids?
Well, I prayed so hard to be a good mother. It wasn't always the case. My story will tell you that. But I wanted to be able to be an example, especially for my daughters. We as women, we try to be the best women that we can be. But if you're not living what you're talking about, I don't think that you're doing anybody any justice. So I wanted to be able to just be real. And I told my children and still tell my children, my grandchildren, be real about yourself. If you're going to say something, make sure that you live up to what you said. And my husband used to say, you better be able to walk it like you talk it. So I kept that in mind. I still keep it in mind. You better be who you say you are. I don't like phony people. So this is Lucille. This is what you're going to get.
I love it. So you also in your memoir reflect on, your personal growth and resilience. So what do you consider your proudest accomplishment in your journey so far? and how has it shaped the woman you are today?
Well, I have so many proud moments now. I experienced my growth having gone through the things that I've gone through. And I learned how to talk to myself. That helped me a whole lot. I learned how to look in the mirror and take a look at Lucille, because going through life, sometimes we lose our way and we learn how to compromise in marriages and in relationships. But I began to love myself more. And when I started doing that, my life, it got a whole lot better. A lot of things start with us. It starts right with us, and the desire that we have, the creativity, the determination, the motivation, it starts right here with us. So my proudest moment was when I made up in my mind, I'm going to go back to school. The door opened. I kept walking through the doors. I have more than one degree. I only set out to get one, but God blessed me. I have two, three. I have a business administration degree. I have a master's of organizational management. I have the honorary doctorate. So when you start something and then you accomplish more, that is a proud moment. So those moments are one of my proudest accomplishments. And the way my children respect me, that makes me feel so proud to just be the woman I am today. I'm so happy. I'm so excited when I think about my children. I think about my daughter that passed away. She was so strong, going through school sick, having gone through chemo and radiation, but she was not a quitter. And I taught her, don't be a quitter. I teach all my children, don't be a quitter. So the fact that I kept going in spite of, I'm proud. I'm a proud Black woman today.
I love that. You know what's amazing about what you just said? Yesterday, I don't normally have these days, but this dark cloud had come over my head briefly, and I was feeling really low for the first time in years. And I just started crying. And I went to my mom. I'm like, Mom, I don't know what's wrong. Suddenly I feel so sad. She said, What happened? I said, I don't know. I can't even talk to you right now about it. I'm too emotional. She later on came to me and said basically the same thing you just said in so many words. She's like, Nye, you have to A, love yourself and find your own happiness. And she didn't say anything I haven't heard already, but I think I needed to hear that message again. Finding your own happiness, especially as a woman, navigating your
Mm-hmm.
own journey is so important. I later on told her, I said, Mom, she said, Are you ready to tell me what was wrong? I said, You know what? It doesn't even matter now. You said exactly what I needed to hear in the moment, and it made me feel so much better. And now to hear you, Dr. Lucille O'Neal, say the same thing, self-love, it's like I received this message, right? So
It's so important. We forget that because we looking for love in all the wrong places. We heard that so many times, but that's true because we go outside looking for love instead of looking at ourselves. I love me. Ooh, I love me so much. Ooh.
right? Now, of course, your memoir does just that. You encourage your readers to cultivate self-love and embrace purpose, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
for those who are currently feeling stuck or overwhelmed by life's challenges, what are some of the practical steps, in your opinion, what are some of the practical steps they can take to move toward a place of healing and fulfillment?
The first thing, Miss McGee or Nye, what do you want me to call you?
Nice, cool.
Nye. Our first thing I would suggest is that they do a self-check. That's the first thing. And then out of that self check, you'll begin to realize where you may have gone wrong and you do better. You always look to improve yourself, but if you so busy blaming other people for what's going on or blaming them for the things that are not happening for you, you need to take a look at yourself. And when you start there, and this, I'm not saying this is what I know. When you start there, you can realize how step by step by step, you'll begin to accomplish the things that you set out to do. You'll begin to accomplish the goals, those old dreams that you had that you laid down. They will begin to manifest right in front of your eyes, but it starts with you. You have to put in the work. What do you want for yourself? That's a question that you can ask yourself and just get started. Life is short as you get older. I'm seasoned now. I'm not old, I'm seasoned now. So I can say that that's the truth when I say it. You got to do a self check.
Exactly. I love that. I love that.
Mm.
How did you balance supporting your children's individual dreams while maintaining a sense of self and pursuing your own goals?
For a while, I didn't know how to do that because I was so busy caught up trying to impress people. Let me just say that. But it came a time in my life where I just wanted to find out who Lucille was. It was important when you're a mother. I put my children first and just put myself on the back burner. But what I said to my children, Shaquille being the oldest, my young son Jamal being the youngest, I kept saying, Jamal, you're not Shaquille. Shaquille, you're not Jamal. And then I have two daughters, Latifah and Aisha. And I said to them, Latifah, you're not Aisha. Aisha, you're not Latifah. I learned how to respect them for the individuals that they are. And it helped me. And another thing I did, I learned how to listen to them. We're so busy parenting that we don't have time to listen to what they want, what they're thinking. But when I learned how to do that, I got greater respect. Nah, it was beautiful that I learned how to respect them and they respect me. But my husband was a very good disciplinarian. And we came together as a family. And being in the military, you're away from home. So you have to come together. But I read so much. I read a poem, something like a poem one day, and I think it was written by Roy Lesson. It's in my first memoir. I talk about the pathway, how God has a pathway for all of us. Now, your path is not mine, and mine is not yours. So instead of me being concerned about what's going on with you, I need to be concerned about what's going on with myself. And I taught that to my children. Be yourself. Can't be anybody but yourself. It helped me. It helped me on my journey. It's helping me now. So I hold on to that one lesson that I learned. Just be Lucille.
How did your faith help you persevere, right, during moments of doubt or hardship? And what message do you hope readers take away from your spiritual growth?
What I remember as a young girl growing up, we had a woman pastor, and we have more women pastors now. But back then, when I was younger, we didn't have too many women pastors. But I was one of those young people that had such an attitude. But our woman pastor, her name was Iola Hartsfield. She was very concerned about the youth, and she stayed on me, and she stayed on me because I didn't want to be asked to do anything, but she kept assigning me to do things. But one day she called me, and I must have done the neck roll or something, and she raised her finger. She said, you come here and you walk like you have somewhere to go. And when I shared that with the individuals that were helping me write the book, Allison Samuels in particular, she said that should be the title. But what I got out of that was that God created us with a purpose. We have to find out what it is, and we have to walk in that purpose, whether we want to or not. You know, we're fighting, we're resisting. But when you get to the place where you know your purpose and what it is, that's where you begin your growth. And my mother used to beat me. I say, beat me up with the Bible. She was very spiritual and very loving and very sweet and very kind. But she used to always beat me up with Bible scripture. And the one I live by today is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. It says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not to thine own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. So I live by that every day, and it helps me. It has helped me grow because I know I'm not in charge of my life. And she used to tell me, Lou, you're not in charge. God has the master plan. That's what she says. And that's what I believe. I truly believe. So I'm all right. I'm all right with what comes. I'm all right, especially happy with what goes. But for the most part, I stand on the words that were instilled in me. And that is my favorite scripture. And it has helped me to persevere.
Okay, now hold on now, because just yesterday I started writing down important Bible scriptures. Please, which one is that again? You said it's Proverbs?
Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. You know, we get a lot of wisdom out of Proverbs, but that one
Yes.
right there, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, it's
Okay,
on my brain. It's on my brain. I teach it to my children, my grandchildren. They're learning how to recite it. So I live with that one now.
Now, speaking, you just mentioned your grandchildren. Do you have a different message? Now, I know you just spoke about the message you hope readers take away from your spiritual growth, but do you have a separate message that you want to leave with the next generation, the youth, about finding strength in the face of adversity and the challenges that life throws at us?
I don't have more so a separate message. But what I do encourage them to do, because we live in a different time with the social media and all of the negativity, what I encourage my grandchildren to do is to be true to themselves. Be careful who you invite into your circle, because everybody that says they love you, that's not always the case. We're in a different place, and we have to be careful who we invite in because of the place that we're in. And everybody is it's some mean people out there. So I just encourage them to be careful. And most of all, know who they are. And I pray for them every day that they have their own relationship with God or whoever they want to believe in. I don't push them, but I do encourage them through the word that I know to be true. And I'm back to more word again. It says, train up a child in the way they should go. When they get old, they won't depart from it. So they can get it now, or they can get it when they get grown. But it's my job to just make sure that they know a little bit. So that's what I do.
Amen to that. Man, that just took me back to my grandmother, because she raised me in the church. You just reminded me of my late grandmother with that verse right there, boy. So what are you most excited about readers experiencing when they unpack your memoir?
I'm excited because I know in those pages they're going to be able to relate to something that I've gone through. It's not a story that hasn't been told by other people. It's life, and I know for sure that they're going to find something, and they're going to come back and say, "I remember that," or "the same thing happened to me." But out of all of the misery and all of the trials, we call them trials and tribulations, there is hope. I want them to see that there is hope. And I want them to know that even though we're in a place of sadness, sometimes we can come up out of that if we just continue to go forward. And while I have your attention, it's because we want the readers to know. They already paying attention to the negative stuff that's out there, but let me just share this good stuff with you. So I want them to get something good out of it. I know that they will. And we nosy by nature too. So anyway.
That's right. That's right. Okay, really quickly, because I know I'm coming up on my time with you. Your involvement in charitable causes is a key aspect of your life. So how has your own personal journey inspired your passion to give back? And are there any particular causes that are most meaningful to you today?
Nah, I believe that those of us that are blessed in a special way, we should be blessing others around us. My mother used to say, the blessing is not about you. And I believe that. So when we got in this special place that we're in now, it was just no brainer that we go do something. And on the basketball teams, they are involved in community. And then as a family, we wanted to be involved in community too. So when our mother passed away, this is how we got more involved. She had cancer. And we were in the hospital, and the doctor told us one day, he said, "It's not the quantity of years your mother has left to live, but it will be her quality of life from now on that's going to make a difference to all of you." So my brother and my two sisters, we got together and we developed the Odessa Chambliss Quality of Life Fund. And we raising money in her honor, keeping her legacy alive. She was a nurse by profession. So we've been raising money for nursing scholarships since 1996. And that Quality of Life Fund has a special place in my heart, not only because it's designed to celebrate our mother and her life, but out of it, we want others around us to have a quality of life. And if we can contribute to that, then why not? And then all the other causes, it just helps us to be a better person. And I love being able to give. So many people gave to us. So many people gave to us. And I love the fact that Shaquille is so generous, and my other children, they don't mind doing something for somebody. That's what we're supposed to do. Can't take a nickel with you. That's one thing.
That's true.
And then, you get to the point where why you got to be so selfish when there's people out here that have a need.
What was the most difficult part about writing about your experiences in your memoir? And was it transformative for you revisiting them for this re-release?
Well, the thing that I I pondered and I threw back and forth. I told my kids a long time ago, I said, I want to write a book one day. And we write books and we write memoirs so that we can share a part of our lives. But in my life, a lot of things I was ashamed of. And I told my kids, I said, you're gonna read some things in this book that you didn't know anything about. I warned them before it came to print, but they said, Mommy, it's okay. You know, we try to be perfect. We want to be perfect in everybody else's eyes, but we are not perfect. And we go through some things, but we go through so that we can be a witness to help somebody else that's going through the same thing. So when I made up my mind, I'm just going to put it all out there. And then Allison helped me because she asked the right questions and she got the right answers, and she helped me put it in order so that the readers were able to read it and understand. Nobody wants to be called a drunk. So I'm going to tell you that I was a drunk before I let you say that I was a drunk. So it's my truth. And we got to be truthful. That's it.
So is it safe to say this process, writing this memoir, was a therapeutic adventure for you?
It's safe to say that because it unloaded some of those feelings that I had of being shameful. Yes, it did.
Very good. Well, Dr. Lucille O'Neal, it's been an honor and a pleasure to speak with you today. I know you're a very busy woman, so I will not take up more of your time. I am very grateful for you speaking with me, and I'm looking forward to sharing this conversation with my readers. Thank you so much for giving me your time.
Nah, thank you so very much. And I just want to say that I'm happy that we had this opportunity to speak to one another. We speak to a lot of people through email and text messages, but to see you face to face, this blessed me today. So I want to just say thank you. And I pray that everything continues to go all right with you and whoever you're working for. And hopefully we'll get a chance to talk again.